My god, how trippy is this program? And when I say trippy, guys, you know what I mean. Legion is such a weird program, but that is what I love about it. I feel like they honestly know this show isn't for everyone out there, but it's got enough people into its specific weirdness that it's actually such a great show. I really enjoyed season 1. I think I only did a first impressions video just like this for season 1, but here we are again with my first impressions of Legion season 2. Now, I know this is late. I just have been very busy with other videos, but this is for all you guys who wanted to know my thoughts on the first episode of Legion, even though by the time this has probably gone up, maybe episode 2 has aired, but there is still so much to discuss. Now, I'm not going to be able to go over everything because there is so much stuff that's gone on, so I'm just going to kind of highlight my favorite things, or like things that I want to talk about in the episode. Obviously, some like fan theories, especially to do with that trippy ending with Sid. But yeah, obviously, spoiler warning for anything that happened in Legion episode 1 of season 2. But as always, everybody, if you go on to enjoy this video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button. And if you're new here, why not subscribe for more Legion videos? Because if I do not do overview or breakdowns, I will definitely be doing theory sort of breakdowns, if that makes sense, over the massive amount of things that this program tries to trick you about, or you're just not sure about. Is it in David's mind? Is it in this astral plane? God knows, there's so many things, guys. It's too much. Now, this first episode was just mad, a complete madness, and to be honest, that is what this season of Legion is kind of about, and it's what they've said. And the first episode made it very clear as well that it's surrounding kind of mental health, and I felt like season 1 surrounded that quite a bit, but obviously in this first episode, we got like different chapters, and one of the main ones I think is delusion, but I'll get to talking about that a little bit later, because we got that little creepy delusion creature skeleton birdie thing, which, yeah, as I said, I'll talk about later, because I feel like that ties in with what happened right at the end. So what has also happened since the end of season 1? Well, David has been missing for more or less a year. I think it's around 362 days. And some weird orb stole him and just took him up across the mountains and other things. But that is where the beautiful and amazing fan theories come in. And at this point in the episode, obviously, you're very confused. And this is what I love about Legion. You don't know what's going on when it's happening, but later down the line, you're kind of enlightened a little bit as to what might be going on, but then that just sprouts off a whole new spider web of questions, which we will talk about in this video eventually, about, you know, the specific things to do with the orb and where has David been, why was he taken, and how can that play into the rest of this season. But also, the interesting thing to note for him is that it's only been around a day, and that made things very interesting throughout the episode. Obviously, we got a lot of explainers like Admiral Fukuyama, with his, you know, with the basket on his head, but even weirder, two mustached ladies who he communicates through. We got a little bit of an explainer for that as well. But also the mutants of season 1 have also joined Division 3, and they were like the enemies of season 1, but now Kerry and Sid and obviously the rest made and had this discussion with Division 3 that they're not the threat. Obviously, the Shadow King is the threat they want to be concerned with, and they're kind of now working together in a weird way. I think there's going to be a bit of, I mean, I know Admiral Fukuyama, I feel like there is going to be more to him and Division 3, because that was originally the season 1's kind of, you know, big deal, and who they were running away from. So I think even though the Shadow King is going to be the main thing, I still wouldn't hold your breath about Division 3. I still think things are going to be weird. But quickly, we were introduced into the realms of Division 3, and I think we got that explanation from Tommy? I can't remember if that's his name. But he is the one who can access memories, and also that what he shone a light on as well as and throughout this episode as well, which I found very interesting. And I don't necessarily blame the other characters who we were familiar with and David was familiar with, but now, even though it's been a day for him, it's almost like they're kind of strangers, and they don't necessarily trust him for not remembering what's happened the whole entire year. Anyway, from him, we learned that the Shadow King has been, you know, they've been tracking him, different sightings around the world, but wherever he was, there was this thing left called, as what they call, the Catalyst. And now this is this really creepy ass, what they describe as a psychological disease, and this is what I love about all of this. It's just so confusing, and when it comes to mental stuff and the way they tell the story, it is honestly like, what is going on here? Is this happening or is this not happening? But in terms of this disease, which leaves people with their teeth chattering like, that really isn't good, and it seems people can get infected. I don't know if people can get cured. We still have yet to learn that. It seems that I think they're collecting some of them in Division 3, but we also learned that children can't be affected, and I wonder if that will have quite a part to play at some point in this story. Now, we've also kind of got the main kind of goal for the Shadow King in this season, which we need to stop. Well, not we, but they need to. The good guys need to stop him from doing in this season, and that is finding his true body, which was actually hidden supposedly a long time ago after the Shadow King was defeated in the astral plane by Charles Xavier, which obviously David's father. But now obviously that's his goal. But there was such a huge twist at the end where David is sleeping after having, some sexy time in the astral plane with Sid. And I loved all the interactions with Sid in this episode. And there's so many things that I feel like I kind of can't talk about, because otherwise talking about this show and this episode, it's now long as well. It's so much to cover. But we got this really integral scene right at the end, which makes the whole body thing for the Shadow King even more interesting, because obviously Sid approached David and said there's not much time, and she seemed very like she's been through a great ordeal, and I loved this. I was like, what is going on? And then you get the reveal, and my mouth was like hanging open, because what she revealed is that she wants David to help the Shadow King find his true body, and that was just like, what are you doing? And I love the fact that he's in the present, or she's. This is what I find confusing. It's like, was she in the present? But technically she was in the future. So does that mean David is in the past, but yet he's in the present? I don't know. But regardless, she is from the future, supposedly saying that, you need to help him find the Shadow King's true body. Now, there is a great deal of speculation as to whether this is really the Shadow King from the future sending a delusion, trying to delude David into thinking that's what he needs to do. And what gives kind of more hints to that is that little creature, which was, highlighted in the delusion chapter, was crawling under David's bed when he was sleeping with Sid. So I feel like that is the show's message in saying that this may not be what it seems. This is a huge fan theory as well. It's like, is that actually really Sid from the future, and this is the weird twist that he does need to help? Or is that actually the Shadow King, which I kind of find more believable, trying to delude David into thinking that is what needs to be done? And obviously the best way to do that is to show Sid, because that is who he loves and cares for. So I do feel like the Shadow King is trying to prevent this future from happening through sending this message to David, to create a future where he does actually not get taken down and he finds his true body. But I would love to know what you guys think there. There is so much going on with that. But also fans are theorizing, and I love all these ideas, and honestly, this is why I want to get comments flowing in the comment section down below, is that the orb was actually sent to David to take him back by Carrie, who designed it, and Sid, to change the future. But also this could be another delusion from the Shadow King, but maybe, that future where Sid is from could actually be, not really happening. It's the Shadow King, but the orb was sent back so David could actually prevent a future from happening. But it's just so complicated, guys. Season 1 was complicated enough in order to know what's going on with the timeline, the way people dressed, kind of from the 70s, but yet there was set in 2016, I believe. So it's just, oh my god. Kind of going back a little bit, I love the tank that was made for David. It kind of reminds me of what, it's not exactly the same at all, but, obviously what his father Charles used to kind of amplify, his powers. This was just used to obviously help David trying to remember his memories even more, and he just ended up remembering even more trippy stuff. Either way, guys, my first impressions of this was absolutely fantastic. I'm going to continue watching the show. I'll probably be making videos, like a theory-based video. So, for example, what we've lightly touched on in this video with the orb theories, the Shadow King theories, the Sid theories at the end, you know, with the compass being made. I could go over forever, but you know, I would talk about it forever. So this is why I've kept this video short. Let me know what you thought of the first episode of season 2 of Legion. It is just getting crazy, guys, and I can't wait to see how much more this show makes us question ourselves. Which I feel like, just as we feel like we're probably going to get a theory nearly right, it's going to be snatched away, and even more, you know, crazy delusions are going to be even spreading into our heads with what's going on in the show. But anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button. It helps my channel out a whole bunch. And if you're new to this channel, why not subscribe for more Marvel Legion videos just like this. As always, of course, I want to thank all my patrons showing up on screen here. If you want to become a patron yourself, head to the top link in my description and check out some of the tiers. These guys liked it, so maybe you will as well. If you want to join my Discord server and talk all things nerdy with me and other people in the BobaTalks family, the invite link is in the description as well. Be sure to join that. But apart from that, everybody, I think that is everything. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.